Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Wedding MBA podcast. We talk to the amazing presenters and educators and experts that grace our stages at the Wedding MBA conference, which this year, 2026, will be November 17th through the 19th at the Las Vegas Convention Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. And you want to get your tickets as quickly as you can because they get more expensive the closer we get to the conference. So go to weddingmba.com, click on purchase your tickets, and do yourself a big favor, save some money. Use the discount code Clint. It's CLINT. It's my name. You put that in the discount box, you'll get $20 off of your purchase. I am so excited. This is the first episode of the new season of the Wedding MBA podcast. And as tradition demands, we welcome the one and only Alan Berg. Alan, how are you?
I am great. Thank you for making me first. I appreciate that.
Oh, no, no, thank you. You don't understand. I do a lot of these. And to start off on a great foot, to have somebody with excellent knowledge and energy and understands what the format is, because you have your own podcast and you've been on 500 billion of them. Alan, tell everybody where you are and what you do.
I serve the world from New Jersey. And what I do is I help wedding and event businesses have a better, more profitable business. So you get to do the fun part, the creative part, the part that got you into the industry in the first place. And my passion is helping you have a great business because that balance of those two different skills is really what makes the successful people in our industry.
How many different venue categories have you assisted?
The average wedding has 12 to 14 different services. But if you go on a site like the Knot or Wedding Wire, you're going to see on their drop down, there's about 21 or 22 possibilities of what you can do. And I've helped them all. We know that so many people listening are solopreneurs, right? Or small businesses, just a couple of people in the business. So I do a lot of one-on-ones with folks like that.
Plus, you have books. I want to make
Yeah.
sure that we let everybody know that if they're just meeting you for the first time, it's important that they understand that you've written extensively about wedding business specifically. Can they go to your website to get those books real quick?
Absolutely. I have 16 books. Nine of them are specifically for the wedding and event industry, including Shut Up and Sell More Weddings and Events, Stop Selling and Help Them Buy Weddings and Events, AI for the Real World, a practical guide to AI for wedding and event businesses. So if you go to shopalanberg.com, just like it sounds, shop Alan Berg, so SHOPALANBERG.com, put in the coupon code podcast and you'll actually get free shipping anywhere in the world.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
And todos mis libros disponibles en español y deux de mes livres disponibles en français.
And if you speak those languages, you know what he said. All right. All right. Now let's go to the schedule. All right. What I'm showing you now in YouTube and on the audio side, I'll just let you know you can go to weddingmba.com and click on seminars, and they have a PDF that you can download that has all the great information. But then if you scroll down to Wednesday at 9 a.m., you will see right up front from ghosted to booked why your leads go silent with Alan Berg. Now we just set the table. And
That's
so
right.
this can go a million different ways. And I know you've literally written the book on this. So dive in any way you want to, Alan. Go ahead.
Yeah, the biggest opportunity that just about everybody listening has, and I would venture to say everybody, but let's say just about everybody, is the biggest opportunity is people that have already reached out. They've already filled out your contact form. They've already emailed you, texted you, DM'd you, or possibly called you, but not likely these days. And they haven't told you no yet. So if you have a yes, obviously you're moving forward. And if they haven't heard no, people assume that they've booked someone else. They assume that the silence means they must have chosen someone else. And it's just not true. And I prove this time and time again with my clients, with my audiences, through my podcast, my books, my one-on-ones, and my training. We've secret shopped over 900 companies. People just give up too soon. I'm going to share some stats on the secret shopping so you can see just where the opportunities are. I'm going to talk about how to restart those stalled conversations, how to handle the objections that might come up. How do people decide today? We're dealing with the zillennials, which is the young millennials, older Gen Zs. They just don't act the same way as the people did 5, 6 years ago. If you think about before COVID, I like to call it BC, before COVID. Uh, 2019 was one BC. In one BC, they acted differently than now. What I'm going to talk about is how you can think about these ghosts differently, how you can reactivate these ghosts. And really part of it is how you can maybe get ghosted less in the first place. Because a lot of why people are getting ghosted is a self-inflicted problem. It's things that you're doing that maybe used to work and they're just not working as well now. For some people, not working at all, and some just not working as well. Because let's face it, if it's working well, go see another session.
I heard two things that I'm really curious about. One is
Yeah.
restarting the conversation. But before we
Yeah.
get to that, You're saying that people are sometimes making mistakes that lead to being ghosted. Can you flesh that
Yeah.
out a little bit?
Yeah, not sometimes, but very, very often. The biggest mistake is forcing the call, the meeting, the venue tour right away. That is the number one thing that people are doing. So many people are doing. And I know it's what you want. I can hear people going, yeah, but if I can talk to them, if I can just get them on the phone, get them on the Zoom, or if I can get them here at the venue, I can sell them. I don't doubt that. But the people you're dealing with right now, if you force that, they're going to go to somebody else. There was actually a bride on LinkedIn who posted that she goes to the venue because she reached out for information, said, can you give me an idea of price? And she had given some details. And they said, do you want to come in today at 8 o'clock or tomorrow at 8 o'clock? And she said, that's it. I'm not responding because
Yeah,
they only said, do you want to come in and see it? They didn't answer any of her questions. They
right.
avoided all of that. You have to answer the questions. You have to address the question. They didn't even address the questions. Forget about answering the questions. There are things that we see. Again, we've secret shopped over 900 businesses. We continue to secret shop other businesses. We just see the same mistakes that people are doing again and again and again. And the people that change what they're doing are the ones that I get the emails, the DMs, the text messages, and people say to me, "Oh my gosh, I did this, this, and this," or I just did this one thing, and now people are responding. So that's what I'm going to be sharing in there. Of course, you have to be at the conference to hear it.
I think you might have kind of answered this question already, and that's re-engaging with people
Mm-hmm.
that you think have ghosted you. And
Yeah.
it sounds to me like the first thing you want to do is answer their questions. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, the first thing you want to do is get ghosted less would be helpful. But really what it comes down to is if you haven't heard no and you stop following up, you have given it up. You've given it to somebody else. I mean, if you could read my hat, those of you listening and you can't read my hat, but it says my favorite phrase, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you follow up once or twice and you stop, which is the average, by the way, two follow-ups, 16% never responded at all, and over half give up after one. But if you only do two follow-ups and then you stop, the company that does the third or the fourth or the fifth, and we go out to 10 for tracking. Some people follow up more than 10, but we go out to 10 for tracking, and very few ever get out there. The one that follows up more is the one that's going to get more business. And it is so much easier to get business from somebody who has already inquired but has not told you no than to go find another lead because you don't have to spend any more on advertising to get the lead you already got, but you do have to spend some time to follow up with them. And I know it's hard, and there are technologies that can help with this between automations and AI and stuff like that. And I definitely will address some of that in there. And my booth at Wedding MBA will have a lot of AI going on in there because my new book is out, which is called AI for the Real World. I will have two other folks in my booth, and we will have other AI things like an AI agent for venues that will actually do this for you. So just imagine you're a venue or a caterer, you get an inquiry and the AI answers like a person. The person answers back, and the AI has the conversation and will ask for that tour or ask for that meeting. And it will follow up more than you will, and it'll do it better. And in the middle of the night, and while you're doing a wedding, and while you're on vacation. So they'll be in the booth with me. And then my friend Brian Lawrence, who we co-wrote a book on websites, he'll be there to talk about AEO and GEO, which is the SEO is for search engines, but AEO and GEO is for AI, the way that people search. So answer engine optimization and generative engine optimization. So our booth will be all AI, but it'll also have the rest of my books as well.
There's an emotional component to this whole ghosting thing. I can only speak for myself, but I think that sometimes I'm afraid that if I'm too persistent, then I become annoying. And I have a feeling that that's kind of across the board in the wedding industry, maybe all business in general, but in the wedding industry, because a wedding is emotional just to begin with, that the whole idea of being too persistent, then you become annoying, and then what's the repercussions of that? But is that even valid?
Well, there's a difference between aggressive and persistent. And I think that's the problem. Some people view their persistence as aggressive. If you do it well, tenacity, right, and persistence is fine. You can do it poorly. And I'll give you an example. I did a workshop in Miami, and somebody came to me at the break. It was a venue, and he proudly said, "Alan, we follow up 14 times." I was like, "Wow, that's great." And then he told me, he said, "Yes, every day for 14 days, we send an email and a text." I said, whoa, hold on a second. I said, I live in New Jersey, and that's even aggressive for me. I mean, slow down, buddy. And that's really what it was. The 14 times wasn't the problem. It's 14 days in a row is now being a pest. I follow up 10 times. If I get a lead, my system will follow up 10 times, but it's over 90 days. Okay.
Mhm.
This guy was following up 14 times over 14 days. Okay. So my 10 times over 90 days, which is closer in the beginning, and then it starts to spread out, spread out, spread out, because at some point over that 90 days, you might pop up and go, okay, now's the time. That's really what it is somebody inquired, but then something else became a priority. Something else got in the way. Or with a couple, they just got engaged and they acquire with the venue and the music and the dress and the photographer and videographer and the invitations and everybody. And everybody's like, whoa, what's the date? Like, do you have a date? They might have gotten ahead of themselves. So now they put it on the back burner. You follow up again and, this time, next time, whatever. And maybe it's 30 days, 45, 60 days from now. And they're like, yeah, we're still interested. Almost nobody's asking at that point. And that's where the opportunity is because they're chasing a new lead on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and The Knot and Wedding Wire and Zola and all those places. And you're just milking the what you already have. I like to use it like a sponge as an analogy. You squeeze a sponge, you get a lot of water out. Well, you squeeze it again, you get water out again. Not as much, but you do. But there's still some water in there. So squeeze it again and squeeze it again until there's nothing left. And as long as they can unsubscribe from your messages, why not follow up again? Right? What do you have to lose? And again, persistence is not aggressive. You can do it aggressively, but that just because you're persistent, that doesn't make it aggressive. You're actually helping them. Just imagine that their life is busy and you pop up at the top of their inbox again, just at a time when they're like, oh, we were just talking about the fill in the blank. Now you as the florist have their attention.
Yeah, I like that. It's to me, sometimes a professional will forget the client. The professional will follow advice that comes from other professionals, and somehow the client is lost in that whole process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I like the idea, the concept that we all have experienced the idea that somebody reaches out to us more than a year before their actual wedding date. Yeah, I like the way you phrase it, that they've got a lot of stuff on their plate and there's a lot of moving parts, and they may not have even locked down the day and the place and that kind of stuff, but they still are trying to, check off the boxes inside all of those wedding planning. Here's your timeline and all that stuff, which just
Well,
I think is silly.
well, think about how they have to do their planning. If the average wedding has 12 to 14 services, and then think about all the decisions that have to be made just choosing those services. And then once they choose the service, all the decisions that have to get made again. So, you're looking for your venue. Okay. How many decisions are there to find your venue? And then does the venue include catering or not include catering? And does it include rentals or not include rentals? Is the bar or not? Okay. So now you have the caterer. Great. Now you have to choose your menu, right? There's choices. And we haven't even left the venue and caterer yet. And then you get to the music. Is it a DJ or a band? Is there a live musician? So we having music for the ceremony? Is it live music for the ceremony? It's called decision paralysis and then decision fatigue. And some people just get overwhelmed and like, I can't make another decision. And they just put it on hold and get a little breath. Clint, you and I did not grow up in a time where we could get anything we wanted anytime we wanted it. We didn't have Amazon and we didn't have, Netflix and all those things. And now you're dealing with generations that they've grown up getting pretty much whatever they want when they want it. Prime used to be, and now it's Prime by 4 a.m., Prime by 11 a.m., Prime, can you wait 2 days? That's is a world where they're like, all right, so if it's 4 months or 6 months away from my wedding, well, okay, we can now book everything, not realizing that that Saturday in October has been booked, for 2 years now. So they'll find out that they can't have it. But, if you're open on their day, why wouldn't you want that business? But somebody's going to get that business and somebody's going to earn it through their follow up. And that's the important thing. They're going to earn it through their follow up. They're not going to lose it because of their follow up unless they do the follow up badly. If you send them a 3 screens on a mobile device message pushing for a call right away, you might as well just not even send the message. 2 reasons right away why you're getting ghosted. I mean, my book has 9 reasons why you're getting ghosted, but those are 2 things right there. If it's TLDR, too long, didn't read, and if you're pushing for that call or two, it's a high commitment. This isn't generational, right? Clint, just imagine that you reached out to a company and you're asking them, let's say you want to get your air conditioning system repaired or something, right? It's not broken, but you think, yeah, let's get it serviced there. And you reach out, can you give me an idea? And they're like, okay, when did you want us to come? You're like, well, no, I just just want some information. And that happens to us all the time. I just had that the other day. In order to get a price from this company, I had to make a meeting, arrange a meeting with them. And I wrote back and I said, sorry, that doesn't work. Right? Give me an idea of what it costs first. And then if it's in the ballpark, I'll be happy to set a meeting. And they gave me the price, the starting price, and it was way more than would make sense for my business. Not all businesses, my business. I'm not going to say it's expensive because to another business it could be fine, but to me, just couldn't justify the cost. So why waste time in a meeting? Pricing, that's a whole nother thing there. They're asking about price, and if you avoid that question, they'll find somebody else.
Yeah, these are excellent. Obviously you are showing all of us why you are the Alan Berg. And I know that there's going to be people that are going to want to reach out to you before the conference. What's the best way for them to do that?
My website, alanberg.com, ALANBERG.com, has the links to my podcast, which is Wedding Business Solutions, links to my shop, and links to Ask Alan Anything, which is my digital brain. Trained on all my books, trained on my podcasts and my presentations and workshops. I actually wrote AI for the Real World with Ask Alan Anything. We wrote it together, my digital brain there. So you can find out about that too. And, ChatGPT and Claude and all that is great, but they don't know the wedding industry like I do. So Ask Alan Anything is my brain, actually powered by Claude, but my brain. So you're going to get answers specific to the industry.
That's brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Alan. Once again, kicking off the new season of the Wedding MBA podcast with a bang. And as always, you bring the goods. And there you go, everybody. That's the way it works with the Wedding MBA podcast. You can see we don't goof around. We're going to give you the information that you need to grow your business the way that you want to grow it. It's not going to do you any good unless you go to the conference, because that's where all the gold is. So go to weddingmba.com, click on purchase your tickets. Use the discount code CLINT, CLINT. It's my name. You put that in the discount box, you will get $20 off your purchase. That's it for this episode of the Wedding MBA podcast. This is Clint, and on behalf of Alan, we will see you next time.